auxiliary, also on. And text box, removed.
Off.
We are ready.
I'm sure there's some way to do that all with one button click.
There is 100% definitely a way to do that all with one button click, but I'm not interested in learning.
No, I think that would be profiles. Are we actually on?
Yep, we are on.
Okay, cool. Hey.
Hey.
Well, this is Pokemon X and Y.
Hey.
My name's Brendan.
I am Bianca.
And hey.
What's up?
I don't think there's anyone on at the moment, so this is more of a hey to the YouTube people.
Hey to the YouTube people.
But I do want to
following.
But I do want to say that this is the first time that we've streamed with a new computer. That I have a new computer. So hopefully any sort of technology issues will finally be over and done with any luck. And also hopefully we're going to start streaming some games on this channel at some point. I was like, probably not Pokemon games.
You should do like a Twitch plays Pokemon thing.
Yeah, but it's just me.
It's just you. One guy plays Pokemon. That's not as important.
One guy plays Pokemon on Twitch.
It's the same thing.
I don't know what I do. I want something either from my childhood or like something that's sort of similar, like a Digimon thing.
Oh, a Digimon game would be rad. You know what would be rad and totally unrelated, but to the topic of this podcast, but we have discussed this before. Old Lord of the Rings games, preferably those on Game Boy Advance, I think would be really good.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't know if you can stream from a Game Boy Advance, but I reckon there might be some sort of way around that.
I think you should definitely look into it.
I don't think that any cable exists that would allow you to do that. Just
point your webcam at the Game Boy Advance.
I remember when I used to have a Let's Play channel. I wanted to upload a video, but like my computer wasn't working. So what I did, I was really drunk at the time. I got a camera and pointed it at my phone and played a little bit of Flappy Bird. Like, it was entirely a comedy video. I'll go find it wherever it is.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. I thought it was a great idea. At the time.
Yeah.
It should be. Also our splash screen that we've got up. So these were some 2 bits of art that Bianca got commissioned of us. I love it. I love mine. And I love yours as well.
Yeah, they both look rad.
I can't remember what his last name is, but I put his Instagram handle in there if you want to go check out his stuff. Diego. I love it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and we got it done super quick too. It was very fast, speedy to respond with them, so that was awesome as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so should we get stuck into it?
Oh yeah, let's.
So before you move on to the next slide,
bit of a trigger warning.
Trigger warning for a trailer of a kids movie that's coming out. I think it's a kids movie. I don't know.
We will go into more detail when we inevitably make an episode about this movie, which you're about to know what it is. It's so difficult to tell who they want to go and see this movie. Like, is it 5-year-old kids and also people our age and like adults, or is it like who will go and see this movie?
I'm looking up now. PG-13. Okay, that makes sense.
PG-13. Okay.
Okay, so like just with it being Deadpool and him doing with Ryan Reynolds after Deadpool, I sort of assumed that whatever he's in now will have a mature leaning, but I don't think that's necessarily the case.
That would be pretty rad if it did. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like a great Pokemon movie.
James, if you watch Senate Estimates, I'm going to be so annoyed. Senate Estimates.
Who? You bloody Canberra resident. How dare you?
I'm thankfully not sitting through Senate Estimates at the moment, but I've done it many times in the past, and oh boy.
I think just choose whatever's more entertaining. Because if we lose to Senate Estimates, then you deserve to go and watch them.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Detective Pikachu. I don't even know if we mentioned the name of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone could have guessed what we were talking about. But here's the slide, and can I just say, yikes, because holy shit. It's disgusting and disturbing, and I hate it. Like, this made me hate Lickitung even more than I ever possibly could have before.
Wow. Okay. I had written down in my notes to ask you what you thought.
Yeah, sorry, I just volunteered my thoughts.
I'm just glad that you have very strong feelings either way, because I'm still sort of undecided. Like, it's mostly because of the art style in general that I'm undecided of the movies.
The skin is awful. It is awful. Like, and you can see I don't know if you can see where I'm indicating with my mouse, but sort of here, it's kind of like he's got that sort of fuzz, it's hair. Like, you know how your skin has hair on it, and it looks like a human's would have hair on this.
You're right.
Really, really, really disconcerting, and I'm not a fan of the way that they did this guy's skin, and I'm also not a fan of the glistening tongue, but that's the least problematic aspect, apart from these dead eyes.
Okay, I was actually sort of fine with it, and I thought it was cool. As soon as you mentioned the fuzz, I'm like, no, yeah. I agree with you 100% now.
Thank you. I've converted you, because the fuzz fucked me up when I noticed that.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I get it. Yeah. I hope that everyone watching can see the fuzz. It's bad.
We can move on to
just James says it looks like a dog's nose, but all over, and that's a really accurate assessment.
Yeah, that's yeah, and the eyes are like the nose holes.
Now I can't unsee that.
Yeah. But I'm not sure about the art style, but however, you can skip to the next.
Gladly.
Yeah, the next one. While I just talk a bit about Detective Pikachu, is that whatever you think about the CG, I think the tone of the movie looks exactly like what I would want it to be. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be really rad. I just don't like that specific image right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. So we've. Sorry, I sounded very dismissive then. I've still got
that's great.
I'm sorry. I just want to move on from the Lickitung that was on my screen, which I now realize no one else could see.
Yeah, it's fine.
I hadn't moved it on myself.
On anybody else.
Yeah. So, this episode isn't about Lickitung, as you can probably see by the title. It's about Lickitung's evolution, which I'm not sure most people would even remember is a thing. But it is a thing, and we're going to get into it. But before we do that, we have to talk a little bit about Lickitung for some context. So to start, I feel like the live action Lickitung has sort of ruined it. But what do you think of Lickitung in general?
I actually don't dislike it, apart from the fact that its whole thing is just it licks things, and that is kind of weird. Its design is actually quite inoffensive. It looks kind of friendly and cute. It's got those kind of cute little eyes. It kind of looks like a big fat Squirtle without a shell, if Squirtle was also pink. That's the kind of vibe I get from it.
On the whole, I think pink flesh monsters try to stay away from.
That's fair. That's also a very fair assessment. And now you've said pink flesh monster, that's all I can think about, because...
Yeah, Alamalolia is also a pink flesh monster.
It's definitely a pink flesh monster.
Yeah. So, I think it's got a lot of elements from Gen 1. It's very simple. Its head in this picture in particular looks like a Squirtle. It's definitely not my favorite, but I would say that it has a simple concept, and it stayed true to that. And that concept is that it's a big pink boy and it has a big tongue.
Yep.
And that's it. And it's stuck to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got this sort of stereotypical things where it's just got a circle around its kneecap just because you have to add extra bits, and there's a lot of pink going on. But I think it's generally fine, especially for a Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yep.
There's a Pokedex entry for Lickitung this is from the anime. It says, when Lickitung eats something new, it never forgets how that food tastes or smells. And same, Like, I think that's how most humans...
Maybe
that's how humans learn
Yeah.
what is good and what's bad for them.
I feel like maybe they were trying to say something like, you know how there's that fact about dogs where like they can remember like thousands of individual unique smells and they'll always remember what a person smells like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sort of thing that they were going for, except that because it's just taste and people have really good taste as well. Like people have a good sense of taste. Then it's just kind of like, oh, so he's like a person.
Yeah. So I was doing a little bit of sleuthing as I try to do before these episodes.
Yep.
Licky tongue is the dawn of man.
Yeah, I just saw that comment from my good friend Don.
So this was from the Pokedex entry from Leaf Green, and this is the only time where it's mentioned. Its tongue can be extended, it says.
Its tongue can be extended, what, sorry?
Like a chameleon.
Oh, okay. So it's just sort of curled up like a little spiral thing in its mouth. I don't really know how chameleons... I've just said that and I realised I probably outed myself as an idiot that doesn't know how chameleons work.
Well, I have a problem with that. There's two problems. One, there's a Pokemon that's based on a chameleon already, so it's weird. It's a weird comparison, which is Kecleon, which is not the main issue. The other issue is that a chameleon is an animal, which brings up multiple questions. But an age-old question is: Do animals exist? Do animals exist? There's another mention, which is the next slide. If you wouldn't mind swapping, which is there's an episode of anime where Ash is dressed up as a cow, and he makes references to cows. But there's also milk tanks.
Yeah.
I was saying chameleon with a hard C. I'm pretty sure it's a hard C. I've always said it with a hard C, and I will never be persuaded otherwise, as long as I live. There's also like the as well. Actually, I think the Pokemon might be called Charmeleon. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Charmeleon. Oh wait, which one is it? I can't remember.
There's Charmeleon, the second one on the way to Charizard, and then there's like a chameleon, the animal.
Yeah. Yes. I confused my head. My brain got broken for a little second.
Just a quick little break in the brain. No big deal.
Yeah.
I have a theory that I'd like to propose. I don't want to get too into it because I feel like this is a bit of a big topic. My theory is that there were animals the same as what we have in our world in the Pokemon world, but then they all either like died out or just evolved into Pokemon.
Yeah. Or do you think that they could still exist? Because it'd be weird if
I don't think they still exist. I think like one of the two, either all of them evolved into the Pokemon that currently exist, or they all died and were replaced by Pokemon, or the same thing. I guess I don't really know. But I think it would be really, really worrying if like Ash is out here like catching 100 Pidgeys, and then there's like real actual pigeons that no one cares about, and like just sit there and are neglected, like because no one cares about these real animals anymore.
Yeah, pigeons can't learn gust.
Oh, fuck, I'm not interested in that. God damn it. You dumb
God damn it.
bird.
I feel like this topic needs some more research. The actual answer is that it's a kid's show.
That is also true. Yes, correct. We should move on.
That's the real answer. But because we're doing a podcast, we need answers.
Don't give me excuses. Give me results.
So you can go to the next slide if you don't mind. There's another Pokédex entry. I can't remember why I wrote this. Maybe I'll know when I read it out loud. So when it extends its over 6 foot long tongue, its tail quivers. There's a possibility they are connected. Oh, that's right.
I didn't know that.
There's lots of stuff going on with its tail. And it's like I never really considered its tail as a thing because it's got a big tongue, which is the main thing to be looking at. But it also I thought it was sort of funny that there's still things people don't know about Pokemon in this universe, despite there being like hundreds of Pokemon professors.
Maybe it's considered like inhumane to like ever do an autopsy or any sort of, like biological assessment of what a Pokemon is. Do you reckon they know about Pokemon skeletons and stuff? I mean, Oak's out here being like, how did this egg appear? Like,
What does a Voltorb skeleton look like?
Oh, okay. Bold theory. It doesn't have a skeleton. It's like an exoskeleton, like a bug.
Yes.
It's just got like cartilage or something.
But if I stabbed a Voltorb, would it bleed? That's a deep philosophical question.
I don't like thinking about that. I'm going to say yes, because I feel like they all would. They're living things.
Mm.
Not blood, then some sort of weird insect goo type
Pokemon
thing.
juice.
Pokemon juice, Shuckles fuck juice.
Shuckles fuck juice. By the way, if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, the name of last week's video is actually called Shuckles fuck juice.
Yeah.
We did it. We're brave.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little inside joke that we like to throw out there for our viewers.
come at us, advertisers.
It's just you just try and demonetize my video.
Come on. So in terms of where it comes from, this is all going to come back into the evolution, by the way.
Yep.
So it seems to just be based on like a generic. It's got a big tongue. I would say it actually looks like a salamander, in particular the live action one. But Charmander is based on a salamander already.
Mm-hmm.
There's, as with all Pokemon, there's also a yokai that licks things that it could be based on.
Yep.
But yeah, I've rushed through this section because I wanted to talk about
the one that we're here to
evolution. Yeah. So if you want to go to the next slide, we have ourselves a Pokemon called Lickilicky. Easily one of the worst Pokemon names. I can't think of any off the top of my head that are worse.
It's really bad.
At first, when I was looking at this, I thought it was Lickilicky.
Yeah,
I think that's what I typed into Discord as well.
That's what I named our Drive folder. I called it Lickilicky because I just assumed that it was called Lickilicky.
Because that is like sort of cute and makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a little licky thing.
No, it's Lickilicky. I'm probably just going to call it Licky or Lickilicky from now on. Just so we're all on the same page. Yeah, they would know about Pokemon. Wait, there are Pokemon skeletons in the museum.
Oh yeah, there are. And there's like fossils too. Like there's Pokemon fossils. Okay,
yeah, so Voltorb has the skeleton.
Voltorb definitely has a nose skeleton.
That's what I'm calling this episode. Does Voltorb have a skeleton?
No mention to what we're actually discussing. People can watch the first, like, however long we've been going, 18 minutes maybe.
Yeah. So, first of all, it has a Wi-Fi symbol on its belly, which is really funny.
Yeah, it is really funny. I didn't notice that until just now.
Yeah. I wrote down a full section on this, but I can't remember. So, in Gen 4, which was Diamond and Pearl, they took a look at some old classic Pokemon, mostly from Gen 1.
Yeah.
There's a fair few from Gen 2, and there's a handful from Gen 3. There's about 20 or so where they decided to go back and revisit them and give some of them some new evolutions. Yeah, cool.
Cool being me. Yeah, it's a very subjective term because I've seen what's coming in this slideshow, and let me tell you, not all of them are cool.
So, yeah, I mean, some of them are actually cool. I don't have a name for these whole this grouping.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping we would come up with one while we're doing this.
We can do that. We can see what we come up with.
If you think of anything, but yeah. Out of all of them, Lickilicky is the absolute worst and least necessary of these new evolutions.
Yeah, it adds literally nothing to the concept of a pink flesh monster that licks things. Because look, we did it again, but this time with a Wi-Fi symbol.
Oh, just you wait. There's even more unnecessary shit on the way. Sorry, let me just check where I'm up to on my notes. Okay. So... Oh, this was from Bulbapedia. It has, I just love this quote.
Yeah.
I don't want to copy everything from Bulbapedia, but sometimes there's some great.
There's just some good shit there that you've got to use it.
Yeah. So it has a yellow line pattern on its belly and a white bib-like pattern, making it almost resemble a round baby boy. It's like, yeah, just a baby boy.
He's just a little baby boy.
This little baby boy.
He does look like a little baby boy. It's definitely the vibe that I get. Which he's an evolution, not a pre-evolution, right?
Yeah. Oh, imagine a pre-evolution. Imagine a baby Licky tongue.
No thanks. This is what I think of baby. This looks like a baby. Its tongue is shorter. Like, and its tail
Yeah,
is smaller.
exactly.
And he's got this dumb haircut that obviously once he grows up he would, get a number 3 or something because, you've got to be serious. He's got to get a job.
Show back and sides. As Dom mentioned, the cowlick on the top, like the original Lickitung didn't have that. So it looks like every body extremity, including the tongue, has sort of been sucked up into the belly. And I was thinking, like, maybe his tongue is being stored in his belly.
That would make a lot of sense. There's 6 foot of it, right?
It would. There's more than 6 feet.
Okay, my bad.
No, it's okay. I just had the exact specifics about its biology here.
Okay, all right. Well, let's be specific then.
So it stores its tongue in its throat.
Okay. Don't
and
we
its
all?
tongue. Yes, exactly. And its tongue can get as long as 25 meters, which is 82 feet.
I don't like that at all. Can you imagine having 25 meters of tongue? Jesus Christ.
No, but it looks smaller. Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. But that's something weird. Like, I remember reading online, I have no idea how true this is, but I remember reading online that, like, actual human beings' tongues are really long too, because your tongue, like, comes down to, like, here, like, it's attached to your throat, like, halfway into your torso or some crazy shit like that. So maybe it does make sense that if he's got a long tongue, that it's 25 times longer than, it needs to be than regular people's are.
Yeah. So it's, in terms of, like, there's lots of stuff about its saliva. I was like, I'm not going to start talking about the chemical construct of saliva, but its saliva can decompose stuff, which is fun.
Well, we already talked about, we spent last episode talking about mucus, so here we are, we're going to be talking about
enough. Let's talk about a cute Pokemon next time.
Yeah. We should pick a Pokemon that we actually kind of like.
I have an idea. We'll get to it at the very last slide that I have.
All right, awesome.
But I want to do that next. So there's not much in terms of, like, advancement in this thing. I think it's just modified different areas. Like, this doesn't look like the next stage of a Lickitung. If anything, this looks like the baby version.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
And that would be fine, but it's not.
Yeah, it's in no way, shape, or form is it fine.
It's not fine. So the Mandarin translation of as well.
Hit me with that good shit.
Large tongue lick.
Well, yes, correct, I guess. Yep.
Yeah, technically correct. The best kind of
correct. Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, there's not really much to say on Lickilicky. It's just fucking terrible.
It's like a waste of a slot. Like, they had this slot that they could put any number of cool Pokemon ideas in, and they just put, like, fat Lickitung in.
The dark pit of Pokemon.
The dark pit of Pokemon. Poor dark
a
pit.
Wasted slot.
He cops a lot of flack. It's not his fault.
I don't care.
Yeah, sure. Who cares about Pit?
So these new evolutions introduced in Gen 4 that I was talking about, which we haven't come up for a name. I was going to say 4 evolutions. Unnecessary. No. I don't know.
There's something there. We'll get there.
There's something there. But I've got some examples of them. I've only gotten the ones from Gen 1, but there's a few more. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I thought we could just go through and talk about them. And before I start, some of them, as I mentioned, some of them are great. I think some of them, like Lickilicky in particular, take away from their pre-evolutions because it's no longer like the strongest final form. It's like you can have like a Lickitung, but it's like, no, you need to advance at one more level.
You need to make it more powerful, but not really. Yeah. It's actually a step backwards or whatever.
And that's the min-maxer in me working, but still, I think, like, yeah, you want to hype up your Pokemon. You want to hype up each individual stage of an evolution.
Yeah. They're supposed to be getting cooler and more powerful. Like, or maybe not cooler. They're supposed to be getting more powerful. Like, that's the whole point. You evolve them to be more powerful, and this one does not look more powerful than
this
Lickitung.
Bastard.
This feature right here does not look more powerful. He looks decidedly less powerful.
This messy bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to change to the first one?
Let's look at... I don't like this guy.
You don't like him?
Nah, not a fan.
I think Magnezone's pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm just going to fix that real quick. Sorry.
Shit. Fuck. It might be because I have a flying saucer tattooed on my arm. But I don't know. I think it's cool. Like,
oh, he's a flying saucer. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I should have gotten a Magnazone tattooed on my arm. Oh, there's still time.
Yeah, there's still room.
I don't know why the webcams are stuck. I'm pretty sure it's just Twitch.
I think sometimes if I flick away, see if that's right. If I flick away if I alt tab from our Discord call, sometimes it gets stuck. So thank you for the reminder. Yeah. I've just got to flick back to it to rejig it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. You hate it? That's fine.
I don't hate it. I just.
You said it's the worst. You said it's worse than Lickilicky. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's. I just don't love it. It's one of those things where it's like it definitely looks more powerful. I just think it looks kind of. I don't know.
The starting base is a Magneton, which is like, it's very lazy in terms of an evolution.
Yeah, it's back to the Binacle school of just multiple of them. If enough of them stand together, they become the next level.
Exactly, and then you can open up the path to the volcano level. I hope that reference made sense.
Not to me, but hopefully someone else gets it.
Pokemon Snap.
Oh, okay. I never played Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I'm doing on the chat.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Is it 2-player? Is it just Snap that's Pokemon?
Oh no, it's 1 player. No, it's you take photos of Pokemon.
Oh no! I know that game. I never played it, but I know the one.
You can finish it in one sitting very easily. We should both do it on the Twitch sometime. Actually, that'd be fucking really great.
Yeah,
because it's a really fun game, but incredibly basic. But
yes, sorry, James, the camera game. I do know. I know
what camera game.
It is now. I've seen a video of it. It looks adorable.
Yeah, it is very adorable. We can go into the next one then.
Yep.
Which I haven't provided the real name for.
Oh, that's okay, because I like this one.
Because he's extremely thick. You like this one?
I actually do like Rhyperior.
Oh, I'm glad we have differing opinions on these, but at the same time,
I actually like him. I realise that it's like controversial opinion because the orange is not great, but
no,
I just like him. I don't know why. I just like him.
So I think Rhydon is like the perfect example of what a Pokemon should look like. Rhydon and Nidoking and Nidoqueen, I think, are like the 3 examples. And they've just it's like he's too thick. No, his arms like being completely separated from his body makes him sort of look like a transformer that's like mid-transformation.
He's got fucking invisible that syndrome. I gotta walk around like
this. The belt's weird. The face is exactly the same, but he looks like Brock Lesnar where he has like no shoulders. A cross between Brock Lesnar and a transformer, I think.
Yeah. He's got just some of these things happening, you know.
Yeah, I hate him. I don't like it at all. The actual name of this Pokemon is Rhyperior, by the way.
Yeah. I like him. I like him. He looks like, I don't know why he looks upgraded though. That's the vibe I get.
I feel like he looks like a evolution of Golem. Like Golem stopped being a rock and grew some arms.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Not really, but just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get the vibe. I get the vibe.
Yeah. There is such a thing as too thick. Do you want to go to the?
Yes,
do you want to go to the next one?
Well, yep. Not really, but yep.
Not great, but
not great.
I feel like Tangler is such a like neglected Pokemon in terms of the whole. Like, it's one of the first Pokemon I remember having, and it might be because of like, I think it might have been like one of the first Pokemon cards that I got because I remember the Pokemon card really specifically. Like, I feel like that's one of the very last Pokemon that you would ever think about, but it's from Gen 1.
Yeah, I really like Tangela. Like, I think it's like it's very unique. It's kind of like got some cool kooky things to it. You don't really know what it looks like. It's just a big viney ball, and then Tangrowth is just like, why did it need arms?
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
It's going with the whole theme. Tangela is all about growing things, so I get it. But I feel like it could have been like, this is what Tangela looks like now that it's grown into what it's supposed to be. Like it could be like a cool like bush or like a tree or something.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, somebody made a great point. What's going on with his legs? Thank you, Don, for pointing out what's wrong with the legs. Everything is wrong with the legs. He's like got these little stubby things. His feet are gone.
Yeah.
He's evolved and he's lost his feet. I'd like to trade my 2 feet for 6 fingers, please.
He looks like when a sheep goes missing from a farm and like grows its hair too much and it's really sad and it needs to be sheared.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely get that. Also, what's this? Okay. What's it doing?
Dadding. First dab on stream. First person to ever dab on stream. Come at me, Twitch. I don't care if I get banned.
Yeah, what's she gonna do about it? It?
That's enough of Tang growth.
That is definitely enough of Tang growth.
It's enough. Yeah, I don't know what Electivire, I think this Pokemon's name is.
I guess so. Electivire. Don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I like this one.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I like what they were going for.
Yeah.
But like he's got this big domey head. Like, and that's it doesn't look like an evolution of Electabuzz. No, it sort of does. They didn't keep. I feel like if they'd kept the actual the sappy thing on his chest, then it would have looked better. This thing here.
Yeah.
And maybe kept the V, then it would have been a bit better because especially this circular black marking, like accentuates the rotund nature of his head, and I don't like it.
I just realized as well the eyes are like completely different as well. Yeah. When I was a kid and I would used to always draw those eyes like that, like the triangles on an angle and like a line in the center.
Oh yeah.
And I think I've only just realized that it came from Pokemon. Yeah. Or just anime in general. Yeah. But they completely changed it, and thanks Japan. I think the eyes of Pokemon are really, really important. They sort of I think they sort of exemplify a lot of the time what generation the Pokemon came from, and a lot of the time what they're going for in terms of its vibe, because you can get a lot of emotions out of some eyes.
Yeah, like this. What emotion do Electivire via? What emotion do these red eyes have? It
looks like it could be smiling, but it could also be angry, and it also looks like Big Yeti.
It looks like it's like the haha, I've got you now. That's what those eyes say to me.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of off-putting.
You've been trapped. I have you. You're mine.
I have you. That's worrying.
Yeah.
Do we want to go to the next one? Because Jesus fucking Christ.
Absolutely not, but yes. Because, they made him worse.
Fuck's sake. It's like a big Guy Fieri with a big gun.
Oh my god.
Let's give Magmar a big gun on its arm, like a Digimon.
Oh, let's keep his dumb egg body and his duck face and his butt head and just give him a gun. That's what he needed.
He doesn't have a protruding bill, but he still has a bill.
He absolutely still has a bill. It's like it's shrunk up into his face.
Whoops. I just added a new slide. Don't mind that. Fucking hate this Pokemon so much. Less than a 1. I hate it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't like it. Do you know what the thing that shits me the most about this Pokemon though? Why did his legs go from yellow like the rest of his body to the bill colour? Why is his little leg stubs the same colour as his mouth? It's weird.
That's a great point. I reckon if you had the stubs and the mouth, they're both yellow, I reckon it would instantly look way better.
Yeah, I agree. The pink is really bad. Bad.
Yeah, they've added another color into the color palette unnecessarily. I genuinely want to go into MS Paint and change this to yellow and see what happens.
My God, I used to do that on my on this laptop that I had when I was a kid. I would go to this website that had pictures of all the Pokemon sprites, and I would download them and I would save them in Microsoft Paint, and then I would make my own shinies and I would change all the color. I would use like the paint bucket to fill in all the different colors and change the colors of the Pokemon.
Yeah, so, that's great.
Yeah, it was really fun, and so I definitely recommend that you do that. You find this art of Magmortar and fix it.
Yeah, definitely. I've got one more, which I'm not going to talk about too much because this is going to be what I think I will do our next episode on.
Just a little teaser of this very soft, not polygonal at all. Polygon, yes. I should say. It's not polygonal. That's the word I was looking for.
Great website.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk too much about it. Well, you'll have to wait till next week. This is a fucking great teaser. Great job, everyone.
You did.
Yeah, that's it for me. I believe you have a wormy little boy to discuss.
I do have a wormy little boy to discuss. So
yeah,
I'm going to bring up my presentation. It's a bit text heavy, so I apologize.
That's fine. I'm just going to fill. So who in the chat likes Pokemon? Do you like Pokemon? I do.
I like them. I
like them. I put it up there as one of my faves.
I rate them pretty highly.
Pokemon was insanely informative to me as a kid, by the way.
Pokemon taught me, like, I don't know if I really knew the whole, because it's just rock, paper, scissors, but elemental, right? And
yes.
Like, I feel like I learned a lot about how, like, electricity, if you mix electricity and water, the electricity will win. Like,
oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, the obvious things like the water will put out the fire, yeah, I already know that. But, like, if, you know, the lightning can't do anything to the ground because that's how grounding works. I probably did learn how grounding works in school later, but I was introduced to the basic concept by Pokemon.
Okay, I'm very excited for this presentation.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't read all the slides yet.
Okay, so Giratina. It is undeniably when legendaries went wrong. For those of you who don't know what Giratina is, it is a legendary that came in Gen 4. Same gen as all of those evolution-y things we were just talking about, which is Diamond and Pearl. And if you know Diamond and Pearl, you know that there's Dialga and there's Palkia, and they were like the mascots. And then there's like the third, which is Giratina. And this is what Giratina looks like. And it looks stupid. It is this thing, this worm with 6 legs and a big tail and no arms and 2 wings and these weird yellow things on it. And also it's got red and black stripes and its wings are black with horns. And he's got these weird yellow claw things. And that's kind of it. Straight up, Brendan, what type is this Pokemon? Tell me what type it is.
I know the answer already.
Okay, well, because I said it's a ghost dragon type. In what fucking world is this a ghost dragon type Pokemon? It doesn't look like a ghost or a dragon. It looks like a worm.
Can I gotta drop a bombshell.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Giratina is fucking awesome.
Oh no!
But when you said the start of making the legendaries look too cool, I am in 100% agreement.
Yeah.
With that, and I hadn't really thought about that until now.
Yeah, it's something that we came up in, I think this was in the episode that we haven't actually released yet, and we talked a little bit about how there was this poll done in Japan about, like, the top Pokemon, and people voted, and all of these weird, like, recent legendary Pokemon are on the list, and they just looked like, I just don't like them. They look too complicated, and, like, there's too much happening. Giratina has too much shit happening. Especially, like, no arms and too many legs. I don't like it. And he also has a second form for some reason. I'll get to that later. I've got a slide on that. The second form is actually kind of rad. This form is extra dumb.
I don't know if I like which form I like better. Yeah. Or like the lowest of the list. I don't know. Yeah. It's just unnecessary with this whole form.
Yeah, the form thing. I'm going to talk about the form thing later, so I won't dwell on it too much. But if we talk about the start of making legendary Pokemon look too cool, I've got my next slide, which is my basic statement that I feel like you should be able to know a Pokemon's deal just from looking at them. Especially legendary ones. Moltres is a large bird and it is on fire. Guess what? It's a fire type. Oh my god, it's like the Lord of Fire bird. Great, got it. Celebi, was Celebi? I don't know why I said it like that. Celebi.
Think about celibacy.
It's like a little green pixie looking thing. Oh, what's that? It's like a forest spirit and it's grass type. Amazing. I got it right. Correct. Kyogre. Yes, you betcha that's a water boy. And then fucking Gen 4 turns up with these dumb pictures. These are all legendary Pokemon. Like, think about Moltres and Zapdos and Mewtwo, and these are on the same echelon now.
Yeah. So when I was skimming through your slides earlier, I had a good look at this one because I could see where it was going. And as soon as I saw the picture of Regigigas, I was like, all right,
okay.
Bad.
Yeah. And so I didn't know this because I never played Gen 4 when I was a kid. But as I was putting this presentation together, do you know what I found out what fucking type Regigigas is? Normal!
I know.
It's a normal type Pokemon. In what fucking universe is this normal? It's got these weird little tree bits. It's got these like buttons because it's a robot. It's got a thing. I don't know, man. It's not good for it to be normal type. It's really bad for it to be normal type.
Regigigas is truly fucked. I
asked Mitch, I was like, hey, what type is this Pokemon? And he goes, oh, it's Steel. No, it's not. You're wrong.
It's from a Steel, Ice, and Rock Pokemon.
Yeah.
So you think it would have like maybe a combination of those two, or maybe Psychic as legendaries? Nah, normal.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. And this I hate Cresselia so much.
It looks like a bad. It's a bad one.
It's just a bad one. And then like, I just want to remember Heatran. Just think about Mewtwo because Heatran is on the same level.
As Mewtwo?
Yeah, they're both legendary Pokemon.
Oh, yes. No, God, fucking, I can't even look at Heatran.
Yeah.
I spent literally hours trying to catch one because I already used my Master Ball on something else. Fuck's sake. Yeah. Fuck you, Heatran.
Fuck you, Heatran. And then there's, I don't know what this one was called. I've forgotten already. But there were three of them and...
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This one's the worst of the three.
They're the worst of the three. So this is my point that on this generation... Because I've included one from each of the preceding ones, and I feel like all these legendaries were pretty rad and cool. And then we get to Gen 4, and they just kind of were like, whoa, here's all these extra legendaries that we came up with, and they're not, I don't like them at all. I think they needed to dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you raised a good point. I think, like, going back to it, Kyogre and Groudon and Rayquaza are all really, really cool, and that's definitely, like, the end of that.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, cool. Draw a line in the sand, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Dom's just said that Cresselia is a corporate logo, specifically the logo for Elevate Baby Nutrients. I'm just going to quickly Google that. I can't spell Elevate. Elevate Baby Nutrients. Images. Oh my gosh, it is. It does kind of look like that.
Hang on. Is it Elevate?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It's definitely looks like it.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dom. You're absolutely correct. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my next slide on Giratina. I've got some Giratina fun facts.
Yep.
He lives in another dimension, which he's the only one that lives in this dimension. So that has got to suck because he must be very lonely. And I feel kind of sorry for him having known that. First confirmed worm legendary. So kudos to you.
I don't think it's even the last, which is sad. I think Zygarde might be a worm.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm just trying to remember. I had to think about which one Zygarde was.
It has multiple forms. One of them's like a dog. Yeah.
Zygarde.
It's like a ground legendary from Gen 6, something.
Oh, yeah, Zygarde. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
I was thinking of Xerneas, because they both have the Z sound at the start.
Oh, no, yeah.
So, okay. The other thing I was reading on Bulbapedia, because it's the source of all truth in this world, is that it has this thing about the origin of Giratina, about how it's like got all these Christian it's based on all these Christian allegories and tales and stuff, and shit out of fucking Revelations, which, I mean, I went to a Christian school. It's a pretty fucking wild book in the Bible.
Get in.
Yeah, so I was actually just going to jump to this, because this is a quote from Revelation, which was quoted on Wikipedia, on Bulbapedia of all places, talking about something rising up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns, and on the horns there are 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And I think that sums up the vibe that Giratina has pretty well.
Wow.
Now, you see that there's 6 horns on his wings. I count 7, 8, 9, 10 on his head. So, I mean, we're getting close.
Is this a description of like the Leviathan or something? Or what was that?
There's 2. So there's Beasts of Revelation, and then there's one that comes up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns, and then there's another one that is just land-based, I guess, and they didn't have the description of that. But apparently that one relates more to his other form, which is on the next slide. Okay.
As James has pointed out, you're making is it Giratina or Giratina?
I think Giratina.
Giratina, yeah. You're making Giratina sound really fucking cool.
I am, and I'll just say, as the slideshow goes on, you'll see the journey that I went on when I made this fucking presentation. All right?
Yeah.
And then they were talking about how he's also symbolic of fallen angels, which are angels that get fucking excommunicated out of heaven by the good Lord and get sent to live in hell forever because he gets kicked out of, I guess, Pokemon Heaven by Arceus. More on this later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, more on this later. Just remember that. Having said
I can't forget it.
Having said all of that, he's all in all likeliness probably based on this yokai because this kind of looks like Giratina.
Yeah. There's a Final Fantasy X boss based on that yokai as well.
It looks pretty terrifying. It's a good idea for like a big scary looking thing. I'm on board with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there's my Giratina fun facts. I was going to include about the Mandarin name, but unfortunately it's just like a transliteration, I think, of the word Giratina. Like it's not really anything exciting. So that's point against Giratina.
1 point, but 1 billion points for it.
Based on this, yeah. Trust me, this is going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay. So I'm just going to jump quickly onto the next slide to talk about the forms, and you'll see that I've included a really funny joke from Star Wars Episode 1. So I hope that you all appreciate that.
I can't wait.
This is getting out now. There are 2 of them because this fucking thing is like what Giratina has another form, because he can just, I guess, shapeshift from having legs and only 2 wings to having no legs and being able to fly with these 3 sort of spindly looking arm things, which have got the horns on the end. I personally think this looks 100 times cooler than like Worm Boy with 6 legs. I don't know why, because it also looks kind of dumb. Like it looks kind of fat here and like these weird straight pokey things. I don't know the purpose of them. They look kind of weird, but I don't know why. I just feel like I'm inherently more drawn to this one.
Just looking at these pictures, after seeing the one on the right, I can see the resemblance of Arceus. Like really, really strongly. It's got a lot of similar features, and I hadn't even thought about that. I noticed that until just now.
Yeah, it's all these golden sort of bits that definitely have that vibe. Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah.
No, just thinking about that. It's so cool.
You see here, like his thing has like closed up. Like here, it's like he's like got his little face mask open, and here it's like it's closed up.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. Like.
Yeah, I'm taking it all in because it's very busy.
It is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Do you remember when we talked about Jinx and there was like a lot going on? There's like this turned up to 11 because everything's got all these metallic shit on his body and like spikes and stuff.
Wait till we start doing Ultra. There's so much shit going on.
So bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this next slide is really. This is what I was telling you before, like I found some wild shit out about Giratina, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay. I just went for a casual look in the Pokédex entries, and I think I've uncovered a gaping plot hole in the Pokemon lore, I guess.
Okay.
So I was reading the Pokédex entries, and there's only 3 that exist. There's one that says it was banished for its violence. It silently gazed upon the old world from the distortion world, which is
that's so cool,
incredibly foreboding. And like it was banished for its violence, right? It's crazy. It says that.
It's so cool.
Like there's only 9 entries, and 5 of them say that. Like most of them say that. You're odds on to get that one.
Yeah.
The next one is this Pokemon is said to live in a world on the reverse side of ours where common knowledge is distorted and strange. It sounds kind of rad. And then another one that says the same first half, but then it says it appears in an ancient cemetery. So I was trying to find out like this whole bit about like it was banished for its violence. I was like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And I just want to lay it out. I spent like probably about half an hour trying to find out like what was the process in which it got banished to the distortion world, which is the dimension that it lives in.
Yeah.
I've got no fucking clue. It's very there's nothing. There's no evidence of it being banished. Presumably by Arceus, whatever, because it's like the god of Pokemon, and like from what I can piece together about Pokemon Platinum lore, it's like it like created these Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina, and then it's just like banished Giratina to this like world on its own.
Yeah.
But it was banished for its violence. That I literally cannot reconcile with any factoid in the manga, in the anime, in the movie about fucking Giratina and these other two. There's nothing about it being banished for its violence. So now I am on fucking Team Giratina because it just got sent off to this fucking world for no reason.
This is awesome.
Yeah, right? I searched Giratina banished, and you can see, like, there was this Bulbagarden forums thread which I read, and it got really in depth. It's a wild read if you ever want to search up this forum thread. But then, like, Giratina banished fanfiction. That's like the third suggestion.
That's
the third suggestion to what happened to Giratina to get banished is fucking fanfiction. And I clicked on that. You can see it's not just one fanfiction. Banishment Chapter 1, a Pokemon fanfic. Light of the Shadows Chapter 1, Prologue, a Pokemon fanfic. The Fall of Giratina, a Pokemon fanfic. Redemption, a Pokemon fanfic. Renegade and Alpha Chapter 3, a Pokemon fanfic. Not the Devil, Arceus, a Pokemon fanfic. Giratina, a Hellish Journey Chapter 1, a Pokemon +1 fanfiction. The Day Arceus Reduced Giratina Chapter 1, the Day I... fanfiction!
I'm gonna read every single one. I'm so interested in where these are all going.
When I was reading this Bulbagarden's forum thread, somebody just came up with the idea that like because it represents antimatter, that it's just inherently violent, which does make sense, but there's nothing like to actually corroborate anything beyond this Pokedex entry saying it has been banished, and that is how it's in this distorted world. There's nothing else. Like, for all I know, Arceus is just a dick. And it's like, fuck you, Giratina. Go and live in your own little dimension where no one can come and visit you.
Yeah. So, I've just been Googling. There is a Giratina movie.
Yes, there is. And it does not tell us any information about what Giratina did. It tells you about... I think if I remember correctly, I've read a lot of Giratina content today, so sorry if I'm getting mixed up. But it's talking about how Dialga and Palkia, I haven't even played these fucking games. Dialga and Palkia like have a fight with each other, and the pollution from their fight leaks into the distorted world, which is where he's been banished to. And so he gets really angry and like comes out of this world and like fights with them, but then like it all gets the cause of him coming out and getting violent was the fact that Dialga and Palkia like had a big dust up and fucked up his house, and then he was like, the fuck guys, you're polluting my house, you stop dumping illegal waste. And like I'm kind of on Team Giratina now. Like, I'm kind of on his team. I don't know what to say. It's just like, maybe he's peak incel. I mean, that's also one option.
Maybe he deserves to be banished.
Yeah, maybe. And that's the other thing. Like, I don't know. Like, this is all the information that I've managed to gather. Like, I've just like banished for its violence. That's interesting. That's it. There's no more information available.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this movie. You've done a lot of great research, put a lot of great thoughts out there. I feel like there's more to be done.
I definitely feel like there's more to be done. I'm actually, at this point, I really hope that they make more Giratina movies that explore its backstory so we can fully understand this Pokédex entry.
Yeah. I feel like this is like in Dark Souls, right? there's a character who has purposefully been like erased from history, and this feels like very much like that, and you don't find out what happens until Dark Souls 3. So basically I'm saying that Giratina is the Dark Souls of Pokemon.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that assessment. Yeah. So
I never realized Giratina was so fucking cool.
yeah, like that's basically what this taught me. Like I've gone from look how dumb this idiot worm is to he is still an ugly worm boy. And he's the epitome. He's like the poster boy for where they went with legendary Pokemon design from Gen 4 onwards, and I'm not really on board with that. But I do also think that I don't think he did anything wrong. I think Giratina did nothing wrong, and Arceus just put him in the distortion world by himself for no reason, and he should live out like thousands of years by himself, and that sucks. I did give him 1 out of 5 though.
Oh,
I'm actually going to edit that because I've convinced myself as I keep talking that he's worth probably, I reckon, a 3.
Yeah, I would say before this I would have said 4. After learning of the backstory, I'd say 5. But
I can't be on board with 5. I can't be on board with 5 because look at him.
I would say 4 myself. But I think you raised a really good point about it being like the turning point in terms of design and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was looking through pictures of all these legendaries. I was like, oh my god, I don't like any of them. Like,
yeah,
and even like in Black and White, which was I did play Black and White. I had Pokemon Black, and I remember really liking it. But then like I think it was Kyurem was the one in that one, or maybe it was Reshiram. I forget. There was like a lot, even though they were just one was black and one was white. There was just so much. They had all these bits off them. They weren't just dragons.
Yeah.
They had like these big tails and all these things, and like they had all these arms and wings and all this stuff. It was
They look like Digimon.
They did look a bit like Digimon.
They all look like Digimon.
Me too.
I forgot there was another bit of my notes when I was just trying to find some pictures, and I got a few of them from a website which is called sonicpokemon.fandom.com, which is a...
Wait, sorry, say that URL again for me one more time?
Sorry, I said it way too fast, just like Sonic himself.
Okay, so you did say Sonic.
Yeah. sonicpokemon.fandom.com. It is a website catering for Sonic and Pokemon fans.
Should I open up this website? Should I go for a little browse?
No!
Okay, alright, thank you. I was about to do that. Thank you for warning me.
Absolutely not. On the front page, they actively encourage porn, which I think is funny that it was right on the front page. It's like, you know what this website is.
Don't fuck around if you come here.
It's hyper specific, and I love that. That's it. That's it from me. Is there anything else you want to say about my new favorite Pokemon?
Well, Dom's just said, are we sure that Giratina is a boy even? Maybe it's like the dragon from Shrek. I don't know. I've just been calling him my little worm boy the whole time. But I mean, I've just assigned that.
Yeah.
So one last thing that I do want to say. I think they're probably genderless. I feel like most of the legendaries tend to be genderless. But the one thing that I did look into was I was reading on a website about Giratina, and it said that its cry, like its sound, was the same as Mothra's, which is like got put into concept.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, really?
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. And then I went and listened to Mothra because I haven't actually ever seen any of those old Godzilla movies. So I went and like watched a clip of Mothra sounds, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And then I went and googled Giratina sounds, and I clicked on a video, and it fucking like nearly burst my eardrums. It was so loud.
Nice.
So I'm not very pleased with that YouTube content creator who really hurt my ears when I was just trying to find out if it sounded like Mothra. And I don't think it sounded kind of like Mothra. It wasn't like the same, which is what the website led me to believe, which is a little bit of a letdown, but what can you do?
Yeah. Well, Sonic Pokemon fandom wouldn't do you dirty like that.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't stuff me around like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it from me. I'm hopefully going to start doing some streaming some actual games on this channel sometime soon. I already alluded to what Pokemon I would like to do next.
I'll have to come up with something equally as interesting as Giratina. I don't know if it's going to be possible. It was a fucking fascinating journey when I was researching for this episode, and I don't think I've ever gone so like hardcore on like done a full 180 from Giratina looks really dumb and I hate it so much to, oh, poor Giratina, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, sympathy wasn't the emotion I was expecting.
that was not what I thought was going to happen going into this. It was definitely not what I was thinking was going to happen.
I'm gonna try to find this movie. Oh, it's the second in a trilogy. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's of course it's got to be a trilogy talking about. Do you know what these are? Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina are collectively called the Creation Trilogy, which just sounds wanky as fuck. It sounds like it's something out of a Bible, like.
Yeah, it's all Bible shit.
Yeah, it's like Genesis 1 and 2, and then maybe if there was a third Genesis, we would call that the Creation Trilogy as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Thanks everyone for hanging out in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
I think this was a fucking great episode.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, this was a really good one, I think. I think we did good.
Yeah. I'm going to try and find some more hardcore shit. I'm going to start looking into some backstories of legendaries as well.
Yeah. There's a very long rabbit hole that I fell into on Wikipedia reading about Arceus and all of that shit. So
yeah, we'll do an episode on Arceus. Before we go, I just want to say Arceus is fucking shit.
Yeah, I hate him. It's not whose idea was that?
All right. Bye.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.
Bye.